Hello, I'm Hal Lublin.
And I'm Mark Gagliardi.
Since the dawn of humanity, one issue has gone unsettled. With the fate of the world in the balance, we're here to settle, once and for all. Hostess vs. Drakes vs. Little Debbie vs. Tastykake.
That's right. Don't worry, everyone. We got this.
Podcast should have a theme song. Podcast should not have a theme song. Yes, they should. No, they shouldn't. They sound good. Yeah, but people are just going to skip past it. You know what? You're right. We got this.
Hostess vs. Debbie.
No, it's going to be best snack cake brand.
Fine.
Listeners, I hope that you heard in Hal's intro there. I hope that you heard best snack cake brand, because if you heard the other one that he was doing, you might have turned it off.
I hope it did. I hope you did hear it. I hope you heard it and that you loved it.
Ah, snack cakes.
Why did it have to be snack
Why
cakes?
did it have to be snack cakes?
I'll tell you why.
Oatmeal cream pie. Very dangerous. You go first.
It's because Michael Amaral from the Facebook group.
Hey, what's up, Michael?
It's very specific.
Yes.
So if you heard best snack cake,
Yeah, during the intro.
it's not like, is it a dipsy doodle or a huang pie?
Now, this was a very specific question.
Yes. This is 4 brands.
Yes.
Which
Little
is the
Debbie.
best? Yes.
Hostess, Drake's, or Tastykakes.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he just added Tastykakes to appease the Philadelphian at the table.
Maybe so.
Yeah.
Maybe he knows a superior baked brand when he sees it and tastes it.
Yeah. Maybe, he's just making sure that you will choose this topic because Tastykakes and something Philadelphia is on the list.
Can we agree that Drake's is kind of right out of this?
Well, yeah, I think we can.
You have a little bit of information on each one.
I do.
How do you want to approach this?
Well, I'd like to approach it by just talking first about the genesis of each of these companies.
Sure.
Giving a brief history of where they came from.
Okay.
And it was all around the turn of the 20th century when mass-produced baked goods became a thing.
Okay.
So they all kind of have similar trajectories and have been bought by each other at assorted times.
Right.
The first was Drake's Bakery, which began in 1896 in New York City, founded by Newman Drake. And they have existed ever since. It's the one with a little duck, a duck in a baker's hat on the packaging.
Adorable.
And that has existed in some form since the very beginning. They began with pound cakes. They were famous for their Drake's pound cakes, which were 17 cents per pound. And for 18 cents, you could get them iced.
Oh.
This company, the Drake Baking Company, combined with other companies to form the National Biscuit Company, which we know as Nabisco, which was early on, in the 20th century. By November 1900, Nabisco had bought, the Drake's Bakery and, referred to it as the N.E. Drake Baking Company. So then the Drake family, having just sold their interest to the National Biscuit Company, just started up another one called Drake Brothers. They just opened up their own company, and Nabisco, I think, sold. Basically the Drake family got it back.
Yeah. There was a Nabisco bakery near where I grew up. It's on Roosevelt Boulevard. It's not a Nabisco bakery anymore. But as a child, you would sometimes see the light on, and when you drove past, you would smell cookies being baked.
Oh, there's nothing
great.
better.
Oh.
We had a Kearns Bakery, which was the big local bread company in Knoxville. And I used to always love driving by there because it smelled like fresh baked bread.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So that is Drake's Cakes. They began based out of New York City. They've always been sort of a big city company.
Right.
So that was at the turn of the century. Also around the turn of the century, the
Little Debbie's?
The Little Debbie was invented. Actually, no, I'm going to go back because Hostess came first.
Okay. Before Drake's.
No.
Drake's.
No, hold on a second. Let me look at this.
Are they a post-Drake company?
So this is, in New York City. Drake's is a big city Northeast company. Then just down the way in Philadelphia a few years later in 1914. The Tastykake or Tasty Baking Company was founded by Phil Bauer and Herbert T. Morris. originally selling just in Philly. Then they spread out to the region after that. Never really grew nationally.
It's now you can find them in like Ralph's out here, but it's certainly not to the extent that you'll see it everywhere when you're in Philadelphia or New Jersey or Delaware.
Right.
The closer areas. But happy 105th birthday.
Right. Happy 100th birthday to Hostess.
Oh.
If you were still in any way the company you originally were.
That's right, because you've
been cut up so many times. Most recently, just a year or two ago, or no, 3 years ago, something like that, when everybody thought the Twinkie was going away.
Yeah.
But they started in 1919, when the first Hostess cupcake was sold. Of course, in 1930, the Twinkie appeared. At this point, they had sold and been sold around. Like all of these companies sort of bought each other and then split off. So it was this weird amorphous bit of timing. At one point, the Twinkie was owned by McKee Foods, which is the home of Little Debbie, the Little Debbie brand. Yeah. McKee Foods came about in 1928. So it's the last of these four to come around. But differently than the rest, McKee Foods was based out of East Tennessee, where I'm from.
Oh.
Based out of Chattanooga, and is still family owned and operated. It's the only one of the four that has never gone public. They have acquired different brands through the years. But yeah, it's still going strong. Little Debbie was the granddaughter of O.D. McKee of McKee Foods, of O.D. and Ruth McKee.
Looks a lot like Shirley Temple.
A lot like Shirley Temple, sure. It's been tweaked over the years. It's based on a photograph of their granddaughter when she was 9, or when she was 4, and then they dolled her up to make her look 9.
I will say I feel like of these brands that Little Debbie's always felt like the classy brand. There's something classy about them, or classy or classic in their...
Is it the Norman Rockwell looking packaging?
It's the Norman Rockwell looking packaging. Yeah. It's the design, like very kind of simple designs to their cakes. Hostess is all about like the swirl on it.
Right.
The chocodile and the snowball and the Twinkie and their fruit pies I enjoy.
There's a lot of Hostess lunacy.
Yeah.
So what we're talking about here are 4 very specific American snack cake brands that came about toward the beginning of the 20th century.
Yes. And we're going to determine the best one of the 4.
Yes.
How?
I think we gotta start with selection.
Okay.
Right? They each have a different selection of items. Some of them have similar things.
Is a larger selection, is that definitively better?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because there is a lot of garbage, and a lot of just variations on a theme. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, Zingers, are just like Twinkies.
Right.
But they're both owned because they bought Dolly Madison, because Hostess bought Dolly Madison. So they have Zingers and Twinkies, which are essentially the same thing. You've got Suzy Q's, which are, just, cakes with marshmallow in the middle. Like they're all just sort of a cake with something in the middle. And there are the best ones that have stood the test of time. Ding dongs, cupcakes, and Twinkies in the case of Hostess. Maybe that's it. Maybe we take
their signature piece.
Their signature pieces.
Because we would take the Twinkie, we wouldn't take Dreamies.
Right,
from
exactly.
Tastykake, which is essentially the same thing.
We're not going to take Tiger Tails from Hostess.
Yes, or there's Swiss roll. I think probably Little Debbie's gets the Swiss cake rolls.
I mean, there are 3 Little Debbies that come immediately to mind.
Go ahead, hit me.
The Nutty Bar.
Yep.
Oatmeal cream pies and the Swiss cake roll.
Okay, great. I would say
I feel like I have to advocate for the one that's from my hometown area.
Yeah.
And you have to advocate for the one from Philadelphia.
I'm going to advocate for Philadelphia. I'm going to give you the Crimpet.
Okay.
Which comes in variety. Butterscotch Crimpet is probably the most popular.
They're 4 in a pack?
No, the Crimpet is the one that's longer and kind of wavy shaped.
Sure, yeah.
Then the you're thinking of the candy cakes.
I am thinking of the candy cakes.
The peanut butter chocolate candy cake.
No, I'm thinking of Dunkin' Sticks.
You're thinking of Dunkin' Sticks. Oh, you're thinking of like their bars? Like these?
Maybe they're not even, maybe what I'm thinking of is not even a Tastykake. This is what my grandfather from Philadelphia would always come down, from the north with a car full of them. Until one year his doctor was like, you have type 2 diabetes. You have to stop eating these for breakfast every day.
In Philadelphia, that's like the common cold.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
And he was like,
that.
nah, doctor said I couldn't have him anymore.
He talked through a stoma.
Of course.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he had a stoma. He wasn't going to do the like buzz machine talk thing. Yeah. So he burp talked everything. That's true. Esophageal speech. I never heard my grandfather say a word that he didn't burp.
I'm sorry to laugh.
This is true.
That. I know. I believe it. I believe it. I'm holding your hand.
Why are you holding my hand? I mean, I don't mind.
I just wanted to reach out. Okay.
All right.
Here are the 3 for Tastykake. The crimpets, which are those snack cakes. The candy cakes, which is a disc-shaped cake covered. I think the best ones are the peanut butter candy cakes.
I know exactly the thing
with chocolate on the outside. And I would actually put their fruit pies up. I think their fruit pies are distinct. I know there may be other brands where the fruit pie would be the thing.
Did you give them 3 or 4?
3. Those are 3 things. So we have crimpets, we have candy cakes, and fruit pies. They make a variety of other things, but those are the main ones I would pick. Okay. I mean, they do make cupcakes that are pretty well known. They have the junior snack cakes, but they have bars, donuts. They have these giant, like, almost plastic looking honey buns. Mm-hmm. So other people might disagree as to what the 3 signatures are, but guess what? Get a podcast about it.
Yep.
Cause those are the 3 I would pick to best represent Tastykake and the best of its brand.
Okay. I'm going to go in with Drake's right now, and I'm only going to give Drake's 2 because Drake's is not going to win. We can probably just eliminate Drake's after I mentioned these 2 treats that Drake's is most famous for, and I think are their MVPs, which is their little coffee cakes that have that delicious, if you've ever had the crumble, the brown sugar crumble on top.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
And the non-Tastykake version, what we would get in the South, and I think everywhere in the country besides Philadelphia, their version of the honey bun, which is the frequently I would walk up to and want to get at the vending machine because it was simply physically the largest.
Yeah, of course. It's a
that
wagon
honey
wheel.
bun is huge.
Yeah, it's a flying saucer.
Yeah, it's a big flying saucer of sugar.
The picture of the one on the
is on a is
it
on
looks like a poop. The one on the Tastykake
yeah, but it also
website.
it kind of looks like a poop that was put on a restoration hardware plate. You know, where everything's like kind of wooden and kind of whitewashed and a little bit antique, but fancy.
Here's a poop on shiplap.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoy it. That'll be $900.
All right, we're eliminating Drake's cakes.
Yeah,
it's going to be between Hostess, McKee Foods, Little Debbie's. And for now, Tastykakes.
So for Hostess,
we have to
take the Twinkie.
The Twinkie, the cupcake, and what's our third?
The cup. Do you take the Chocodile?
Chocodile, that's just a chocolate covered Twinkie.
Is it their fruit? Is it their fruit pie? Is it the snowball?
I think it's got to be, for me, it's got to be Ding Dongs or Ho-Hos.
Okay.
Ho-Hos, they stole, by the way, from the Swiss cake roll.
Well, then we can't give them something stolen.
Yeah, we can't give them that. And that is points against them. Hey, mini muffins, what we were talking about on that last episode.
Oh, yeah.
Hostess makes the mini muffin.
Yeah, definitely not.
So it's going to be, and I'm going to say Ding Dongs because they were
Ding Dongs are the hockey pucks, right?
Yes.
Okay. Hockey puck filled with cream. Got it.
Yeah. Which every company now has a version of.
Of course.
You know, like, originally the Twinkie came from Hostess, so everybody came up with one. I guess Little Debbie came up with the Swiss roll, so everybody came up with one.
I do want to say it because I enjoy fruit pies so much. I just want to give a distinction. Can I give a quick rundown of fruit pies for the 3?
Sure.
And why
Tastykakes fruit pies win?
For Hostess, I'll get fruit pies as well. First of all, they're a fruit pie from Hostess is guaranteed acid reflux.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
No matter what.
Yeah.
I do like the icing on the outside. They get points for that. The crust is decent. It's in a half moon shape, but
you're so technical about this.
They're often crushed by the packaging. The packaging is really poor. Those waxy kind of
paper. That's the Hostess
things.
one?
Yeah.
Oh, those were my favorite as a kid.
Drake's were like little pillows. They were smaller size. Also iced, but similar fruit filling. I think what sets Tastykake apart is there's a freshness factor to them.
Okay.
Where they feel like
because they don't ship
recently.
that far.
They don't ship that far. There's something in how they're made. They're generally not iced unless you get like the Dutch apple pie or something like that. And you get more filling out of it. The filling is the hero as opposed to we're going to put a bunch of stuff on the outside, maybe a little less filling inside and hope you don't notice.
Right.
There's nothing worse than biting into fruit pie,
a hole,
and then
an air pocket.
Like you go like, I'm going to get so much fruit, and then you see.
That's why you got to hold it vertically and eat it from the bottom up.
Well, I don't want it to be a cup.
That Jen would call horsing.
That would be horsing. I would horse that.
Yeah.
But you get more fruit per bite with a Tastykake fruit pie. That's what elevates it and makes them, for me, the better fruit pie maker out of that. That's why I would pick their fruit pies.
And now those little chocolate discs you were talking about.
Yes.
Also delicious.
Yeah.
They're a bit like you know what they taste like to me? The Girl Scout cookie tagalongs. They're like a soft tagalong.
Okay. Sure.
Where instead of shortbread in the middle, it's like a sponge.
Mm-hmm.
And they're delicious.
How much do you like these cakes?
I haven't had them in a long time.
Right.
With the exception of one that if I see it in a store, I will buy it nearly every time.
Is it the oatmeal?
It is the oatmeal cream pie.
I knew it.
How'd you know? Because we picked bran muffins?
It's because it's the least sweet.
Yeah.
It's like the least exciting dessert. That's like the one place where I'm more wild than you are.
I like a sensible, not terribly sweet dessert.
You're like my poor departed mother who would be like, what would be a sinful dessert? An apple. No, Mom. No. Orange sherbet is not living on the edge dessert.
Yeah. Hey, Dad, can we go out for pie?
Yeah, exactly. Or like, give me a brownie sundae. Anything where it leaks out onto the table. That's a good start.
No.
Oh,
I don't want to mess.
Then you eat it. You get in there. Gets all soupy. You eat that. That's living.
You know what? We're going to combine our two loves, and one of us is going to invent a bong-shaped birthday cake.
I'm sure Carvel's already done it.
I don't know if Carvel's
They're innovators. They made a gritty cake.
Yeah, but Carvel's with 2 L's and an E on the end. It's like the off-brand bootleg place. They do just so you can accidentally phone them one day. Yeah, man, we'll make that cake.
Here's Biscuit Face.
Do you mean Cookie Puss?
No, this is Biscuit Face. Completely different.
Wow, say, what's that sea animal over there?
Oh, that's Jimmy the Fat Dolphin.
Jimmy the Fat, not Fudgy the Whale?
Nope.
Jimmy, so give me one Jimmy the Fat Dolphin.
Yep, chocolate Jimmy's all over it.
And one, what's his name? Biscuit Face?
Yeah, one Biscuit Face.
Yeah.
No problem. Jimmy, can you run to Carvel and get a Cookie Puss and a Fudgy the Whale, please? Thank you. That's just going to be about a half an hour.
Great.
Do you need your name on it?
Yes.
What do you want it to say?
Whatever you want.
Just get it to say whatever you want on it.
Great.
Okay.
So, and then let's talk about the zinger. Okay. Not the zinger. The, what's it called? The zigzag one from Tastykake.
The cupcake?
The long ones that sort of have a zigzag pattern with the butterscotch frosting on the top.
Oh, the crimpets?
Crimpets.
Yes. Those are like the signature cake. It's a very moist cake.
Is it filling in the middle?
There is filling in the middle sometimes, and there's icing on the top.
The butterscotch is the famous part of that, right?
Yes.
That's the butterscotch.
That is probably that I think is the best known one.
That's the most of the Tastykake cake.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like you can see a butterscotch crimpet is not filled.
Right.
Because it's quality cake. It's moist cake. It's well done.
The non-butterscotch one is the fruit-filled crimpet.
This butterscotch is cream-filled. There's jelly-filled.
Right.
Then there's the double-licious butterscotch crimpets. I'm just looking at those right now.
I know you are. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Have we sufficiently talked about Tastykake so we can get to the contenders?
How dare you? You don't want to talk about the peanut butter candy cake?
I'm sure it's great.
So good.
So when we come back,
we're going to decide.
Wait,
hold on.
Between Hostess and
we're
Little
not.
Debbie.
We are not. Those cakes are sweaty.
Listen to these ads.
Hey, it's Janet Varney of the JV Club podcast, and I am so excited to be joining Maximum Fun. If you're not yet familiar with the JV Club, it's a podcast with me and some of my favorite women, and in the summer, men, as we explore the highs and lows of our terrible teenage years into what I like to call our adolescence. For example, hear Emily Heller describe her time on the national circuit for the debate team, or how Travis McElroy took over his drama class and gave his fellow students notes. Yeah, that went over great. Or let Busy Phillips tell you how she met Sharon Stone at an Arizona toy fair. You can join me and all my once awkward, sometimes still awkward friends every Thursday by subscribing to the JV Club on MaximumFun.org.
Hi, I'm Paula Poundstone.
And I'm Adam Felber.
Adam, I haven't gotten one thing done today.
Well, let me see your to-do list. Yeah. Well, here. Make 30-second promo for Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, so at least you're getting that done.
Score!
Except you haven't said what the show's about.
We're like a comedy field guide to life, starring me and you. I give useful advice, and we have real experts to talk about things like how to keep a friend or what to do when you encounter a bear.
Bully for you, but you haven't said where people can find the show.
Oh, MaximumFun.org or wherever you find your podcasts.
Listen, I'm not letting you throw Tastykake out. Hostess are
I deliberately let you go on and on gushing about your 3 wonderful Tastykake contenders.
So you can eliminate it and get to sweaty, gross, overly processed.
So we could get to the iconic Americana best snack cake brand.
Because the Twinkie was a cowboy. Because of Twinkie the Kid.
Don't get sour on me.
Is that why?
Not because of Twinkie the Kid.
And
maybe
they were like,
maybe a little.
A bunch of commercials were like, a Frankenstein.
No, also because, all right, you want me to pull out a big gun?
Go ahead.
Tastykake was one of the only companies in the North, in Philadelphia, that in 1959, the workers had to go on strike for them to desegregate. You still want it to be Tastykake?
So tell me more about Hostess.
I didn't want to have to bring that.
My city doesn't have the proudest history about a lot of things, but modern day Tastykake is much more woke than the Tastykake in 1959.
All right.
There were a lot of things being forced to, first of all, you're from Tennessee.
Yeah.
We don't even know that Little Debbie wasn't invented under a white hood, if you know what I mean.
Hey,
wink,
hey.
wink.
You don't even have to add wink, wink after made under a white hood.
I'll put it this way. Tastykake only has 2 Ks in it. How's that?
Jeez.
How's their new that new Little Debbie cake called Glass Houses? Oh, how's that working out?
I have to.
Now you're looking to see,
right?
No,
I have to Google the Scopes Monkey Trial. The Scopes Monkey Trial. Okay. It happened in 1925. So I was going to see if they had, because it was in Chattanooga, or down near there. I wanted to see if they might have had Little Debbie's at the Scopes Monkey Trial.
They might have.
Yeah, because the idea of Clarence Darrow with his suspenders,
eating
a oatmeal cream pie.
Didn't he die of a busted belly?
I think so.
Or is that William Jennings? No, that was Darrow.
He died of really?
Well, in the play, in the book, he died of a busted belly.
Jeez. All right. So Chattanooga was woke by the time Little Debbie was
yeah, of course. Of course it was.
Look, my point is it's going to be Little Debbie or Hostess. I'm surprised that you haven't gone to bat for Hostess because of their tight connection to the comic book community.
I read a lot of ads. This is why we can eliminate Tastykake, because it's not really a fully national brand.
Right.
In the same way.
Okay.
It is clearly the most superior of all these brands, but it's regional.
Right.
So I'm willing to say it's really the best, but we're going to let it sit aside.
Also.
But thank you for throwing it in there, Michael Amaral. Yeah, of course. Reading comics, you always got little, their ads were little comic books with Twinkie the Kid. But they were
also
characters.
But they were also with the actual comic book characters.
Sometimes Spider-Man was there.
Which is insane to me. Like, the idea of the superhero himself or herself promoting the product so directly.
Don't you think that Hostess has been marketed more traditionally, or at least when we were growing up, towards children, whereas Little Debbie was more like, hey, grandparents, get these and have them in your house and the kids will love it.
That's hilarious. That might be the Norman Rockwell-ness of the ad.
Yeah.
They do have, I think as far as aesthetic goes, Little Debbie has it. Little Debbie has it down over Hostess.
Yeah.
Hostess has way more iconic products.
Yeah. Yes.
Way more sugar. You just don't like the oatmeal cream pie.
You know what I remember for Little Debbie's?
What?
Was Rich Little doing the commercials for them.
Oh my God.
As like, there's no kid in 1984 that's like, oh, he's doing Humphrey Bogart. Can I have those cakes?
Yeah. You know what sounds really good right now, Mom? I don't know why, but Paul Lynde is right. I really should have these Swiss cake rolls.
Yeah. Mommy, Fred Travellina as Charles Bronson said I should get Lucky Charms cereal. Can we buy some for the house?
What do you think of the snack cake bars used with cereal? Did we talk about these ever on the show? There's the Rice Krispie treat, the classic.
Yeah.
But then there's now the Graham, and you can get them at stores now. They have like a Lucky Charms one.
Yeah,
they basically just took all the different cereals and went, Here, kids, go nuts. Here's some marshmallow and butter in a pan.
We made, one time we made Rice Krispie treats, but it was with, Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, yeah. That was then you just went straight to the dentist.
Yeah.
Yeah. These are stuck in my teeth and also eroding them like tiny piranhas this whole time.
Teeth are overrated.
Oh my God. But here's what it comes down to for me. Yes, I'm always going to be partial to Little Debbie because I grew up 90 minutes from where they were manufactured. So maybe I got the freshest ones, but also our local stores always, it was always Little Debbie, everything.
Mm-hmm.
And if there were two versions, it was the Little Debbie version. Like, I think we had zingers more often than we had,
hockey pucks
or no, what am I thinking of?
Ho-hos?
No, we had Swiss cake rolls more often than we had, ho-hos.
Right.
But everybody talked about ho-hos and I was like, what are ho-hos?
Mm-hmm.
We have Swiss cake rolls in the South. But for me, it seems like, Hostess has more iconic brands, but the quality of them is higher. It's quantity over quality, but Hostess also has the Twinkie, which is the juggernaut of this category.
Yeah, but doesn't it suck?
Twinkies?
Yeah.
No, man, they're delicious.
I'm not a big fan.
Oh, I love a Twinkie.
It's so it's the same reason I don't like, and I do not, famously, anybody who listens to this podcast knows I don't have an advanced palate in terms of what I like, but I do have a very finely
advanced
tuned
dessert palate.
I have an advanced dessert palate.
You will eat the most vanilla, pardon the use of vanilla in a non-dessert course.
Yes.
You will eat the most vanilla main course.
Yes.
And then the most elaborate dessert on the menu.
I will. And I also have, it's an advanced enough palate that I can pick up different, like if something's over processed, I'm very sensitive to that.
Interesting.
And I can taste something that you made and pick out like 5 or 6 of the ingredients.
Oh, wow.
Even the ones that aren't like immediately there. Mm-hmm. Like I'm pretty good at like deconstructing things in that way. Mm-hmm. And it's so like just
so what
fuzzy
you're telling
aftertaste.
Me is don't even bother trying to prank me with some sort of cake that has something gross in it.
I will know.
I will know immediately.
Or
I will taste the laxative in the cake. Or
5 slices in, I'll be like, something's wrong. I can't have any more. And that's why I know you did something.
Yeah. This chocolate tastes a little chalky, like X-Lax chocolate.
I'll be right back.
I'm going to have 2 more pieces and see.
By the way, can I have some more toilet paper?
Why are you talking me through the door?
Oh, well, here, let me open it.
Oh my God.
They're just so, it's the same reason I don't like sheet cakes from like supermarket. I don't enjoy them. Never did, even as a kid. Mm-hmm. Just too, like gritty, over-processed icing, poorly done cake. A lot of times the problem with cake is it's too dry. I think the problem with this cake is it's too moist. It's like they dip it in asbestos or whatever and then throw it in the packet.
If it's going to be that drenched, I want it to be Tres Leches that have done the drenching.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. There's something to the entire line of, I even find this with Swiss cake rolls. It's just like it's way overly refined. I know that they're not each made with loving care. It's a machine folding them and making them. That's part of it. That's the reason why these brands exist and they're everywhere. Right. But there's something to Hostess where it's so, like, it's a joke that if there's a nuclear war, the 2 things left will be cockroaches and Twinkies. Twinkies never die.
That they're so overprocessed.
Yeah. That's, that to me is a major negative, even though you know them much better, even though they're in a bunch of comic books. Spider-Man's hanging out with them. Ding dongs are famously in the video for Weird Al's Fat.
Yeah.
He goes, ding dong, man, ding dong. There's no equivalent to that for Little Debbie's, snack cakes and oatmeal cakes. But there is something that feels, I think because of the way they branded themselves, that gives them an edge in, like, you feel like, oh, well, as I grow up, I can have them as a kid, but then as an adult, I can enjoy them as well.
Right.
Like
you're saying Little Debbie does.
Little Debbie's does in a way that, like, I'm not like, I'm going to go get a Chocodile. Happy 40th birthday to me.
No, I'm going to stop at the bodega and I'm going to get an oatmeal cream pie because that's kind of like breakfast.
Yeah, exactly. It's got oatmeal.
So it got oatmeal. Yeah.
Yeah. Or like, oh, this is great. This feels like, it's like a Norman Rockwell cake come to life.
Yeah. And that's what you want in a snack cake, is the comfort feeling of comfort food and home. So I guess,
but all the packaging looks the same.
The Little Debbie packaging?
Yeah. I do like the bright color. I'm drawn to the bright colors of the Hostess packaging. I just want to look at it.
Yeah, but to me, it doesn't have an aesthetic the same way that Little Debbie does. Plus, I like that Little Debbie is still a small business, and it's not a brand that's been bounced around all over the place, which could account for some of the quality control issues.
It is, but like they each have their own distinct. Like, here's the Cupcakes logo, and Snowballs has its own logo.
Are you ordering them right now?
No.
Okay.
You
just opened up a
Ding
you just put them in your cart.
Twinkies, and Twinkie the Kid is back on the boxes of Twinkies.
Yeah. Look, Hostess does a great job of marketing. They are a brand. Just as these
Little
all
Debbie's
are, I guess.
is a family.
Well, no, but there is something to be said for it still being a small business with 4 bakeries, 3 of them in the immediate area and 1 out in Arizona for the folks out west.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that about Little Debbie. I'm going to be a Little Debbie man. Please don't turn that soundbite into
my ringtone?
Something. Yeah, I'm going to be a Little Debbie man.
Are you my Little Debbie man?
Okay, if anybody wants a ringtone, here you go. Trim this out of the episode. Hi, it's me, your Little Debbie man. You have a phone call. Okay, make that your ringer. It's so dumb.
So you think this is a short episode?
Is it? What? How long are we in?
Like a half an hour.
Yeah, but we've done some hour 20s. There's nothing wrong with it being short.
I don't have a problem with that either. I'm not trying to stretch it out. Just noticing like how quickly
it's
we
Little
dismissed
Debbie.
everything. I feel like I have no choice but to bring Tastykakes back in.
No, it's regional. It doesn't count.
Whatever. People who vetted your stupid cakes probably dress like ghosts on the weekend. If you know what I mean. Wink, wink.
I don't know what you mean.
Ghosts.
Like a sheet with way too many holes in it because they're big, Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown fans.
Bags full of rocks. Running around going, rats.
All right. Okay.
Yeah,
Hold on. Before we decide.
Yes.
I'm going to I'm just going to Google the phrase Little Debbie controversy. Okay?
Yeah. Oh, look, you're looking at me while you're touch typist.
Yeah, I'm really good at typing.
Please tell me what it says.
Okay. Hit pause and I will come back in just a moment and tell everybody what I'm reading. Okay. In that very brief break, I looked up online. I scrolled through several pages, looking up Little Debbie controversy. And the only controversy I could find has been assorted times in history when they've discontinued a product. And to the internet, that is a controversy.
That's true. That's a very big deal.
Yeah.
Did you look up Hostess controversy?
Yeah, I don't have to. I remember snapping a photo online when I saw a box of Twinkies on eBay for $8,000. I took a screenshot of that.
Oh, that was when they were going bankrupt.
When everybody thought Twinkies were gone forever. Yeah.
Yeah. Who could possibly replicate that winning recipe? Oh, every other company has one?
Yeah.
Is that bandana and cowboy hat and lasso that important? People of the world, guess what? It's not. And I have news for you. They're garbage. It's low quality garbage. That's bad chocolate, bad cream, and bad cake. I'm not saying Little Debbie's is that much better, but they're a little better. And here, a little better goes a long way.
That's right. Just a little better.
While we all know that Tastykake is truly the secret best brand, the winner of this episode is Little Debbie's. And before you get out there and go, oh, you just did whatever Mark wanted. No, Hostess is garbage. There's a reason why it went bankrupt.
Do people accuse you of that?
It was, yes.
Because I get accused of the other.
Oh, no, I get accused of it all the
texts
time.
that are like, wow, that was We Got This with Hal featuring Mark.
From whom?
From friends who are always going to be on my side.
One person who bullies you into thinking you got bullied? No. Back off.
All right.
And everybody back off. Hostess, it's just hot garbage. It just is. I'm sorry. If you have great childhood memories of it, great. Hold on to that. Enjoy it for nostalgic purposes. But don't go out going, this should get a Michelin star. Oh, a crocodile. Look at this pink confection in front of me. Surely this should be winning awards on a global scale. A snowball, you say? Oh my goodness, how rich. Bring us two. It's my birthday. Sorry, they're not good. They're just not. They're probably worse for you than the worst dessert that I get. And I'll tell you something right now.
You've gotten some terrible desserts.
I'm real good at dessert. When we were in San Francisco, we spent the day walking around. We ended at a Ghirardelli, and I got like the most decadent sundae in a cup. To go.
Yeah. I've never seen its equal this Sunday.
I said, bring it here.
Yeah.
And put it in a cup.
Here, put it in my big gulp.
Yeah. And put a dome on it so there could be whipped cream in
so
there.
So that the Uber guy will let me in the car.
Exactly. The Uber guy wouldn't let me in the car with the food. He doesn't know me. That's fair. I wouldn't
He
have
doesn't
got it
know
anywhere.
that every last bit of that is going to make it in there.
I would open my mouth so wide it would be like a Beetlejuice character. Just throw the whole cup in there and then later spit it out and burp comedically. That's how I roll.
Sure.
And even I will not touch Hostess. That's the line in the sand for me. Little Debbie's wins, asked and answered. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you, Michael, for your question.
Yes.
This topic is closed, but there are many more to discuss. So please reach out to us on Twitter at We Got This Tweets. Check out the Maximum Fun subreddit or
email us at wegotThisPodcast@gmail.com. Go to the Facebook group. Share your favorite cake memories at facebook.com/groups/WeGotThisPodcast. Thank you to producer Ken Plume, researcher Kate McManus, graphic designer Uri Kelman, and QA engineer Jen Alba.
And thank you as always to our musicians, Jonathan Dinerstein and Mike Furman, for our score and theme song respectively. And thanks to you, our listeners. You are the ding to our dong, the ho to our ho, the tasty to our cakes, the oatmeal to our cream pies,
the choco to our dial.
For Hal Loveland, I'm Mark Gagliardi.
For Mark Gagliardi, I'm Hal Loveland. And don't worry, everybody.
We got this.
We got this.
I'm going to be a Little Debbie man.
MaximumFun.org.
Comedy and culture.
Artist owned.
Listener supported.